Ever signed a contract? You know, the endless pages of tiny print, the back and forth with lawyers, and that nagging feeling you might have missed something important. What if I told you there's a way to make contracts simpler, faster, and way more secure? A way to have agreements that literally enforce themselves without needing a middleman. Sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's real, and it's called a smart contract. Today, we're diving deep into the world of smart contracts, the intelligent agreements built on the blockchain that are set to revolutionize how we do business, make deals, and trust each other in the digital age. So, what exactly is a smart contract? Forget the dusty paper and fancy legal jargon for a second. At its core, a smart contract is just a computer program, but it's a very special kind of program. It's stored and executed on a blockchain, like Ethereum, which makes it transparent, irreversible, and unstoppable. Think of it like a super smart, super trustworthy vending machine. In a regular vending machine, you put in your money, you press a button, and the machine automatically gives you your snack. The rules are simple and programmed right into the machine. If you pay, then you get your item. There's no negotiation, no need for a cashier to oversee the transaction. It just happens. Smart contracts work in a very similar way, but for much more complex agreements. They operate on a simple if-then logic. If a certain condition is met, then a specific action is automatically executed. For example, a smart contract could be set up for a freelance project. The terms could be, if the completed work is submitted by the deadline, then the payment of $1,000 is automatically released from the client S account to the freelancer S account. Once this contract is set up on the blockchain, it runs on its own. The code is the ultimate authority. It checks if the work was submitted, and if it was, boom, the payment is sent. No delays, no excuses, no need to chase invoices. The contract enforces itself. This concept isn't actually brand new. The idea was first proposed way back in the 1990s by a computer scientist and cryptographer named Nick Chabot. He envisioned a world where contractual clauses could be embedded in the hardware and software we use, making breach of contract expensive, if not impossible. But then the technology to support his vision didn't exist. It was like having the blueprint for a skyscraper without the steel or concrete to build it. Then, along came blockchain technology, and specifically Ethereum in 2015. Ethereum was designed from the ground up to support smart contracts, providing the decentralized, secure environment they needed to thrive. It was the missing piece of the puzzle, and it turned Chabot's futuristic idea into a practical reality. So, how does this all work under the hood? Let's break it down. First, the parties involved in an agreement define the rules and conditions. What needs to happen for the contract to be fulfilled? What are the consequences? If it's not, all of these terms are then written into code by a developer. This code essentially becomes the digital version of the traditional paper contract. Once the code is ready, it's deployed to a blockchain. This is a crucial step. When the contract is on the blockchain, it gets distributed across thousands of computers around the world. This makes it incredibly secure and tamper-proof. No single person or entity can secretly change the terms of the contract because everyone on the network would see it. It's public and permanent. From that moment on, the smart contract sits on the blockchain, waiting. It's like a digital sentinel, constantly monitoring for the conditions laid out in its code. These conditions could be triggered by various things. A payment being made, a date passing, data arriving from an external source like a weather report or a stock price update. Once the F condition is met, the then part of the code executes automatically. This execution is also recorded on the blockchain, creating an undeniable, permanent record of the transaction. And because it's all handled by the code on a decentralized network, there's no need for a bank, a lawyer, or any other intermediary to process the agreement. This is the magic of smart contracts. Automation and trust, all rolled into one. The benefits here are massive. First and foremost is trust and transparency. With a traditional contract, you're trusting people and institutions. You're trusting that the other party will hold up their end of the bargain. And you're trusting the legal system to step in if they don't. With a smart contract, you don't need to trust the other person. You just need to trust the code. Since the code is open for everyone to see on the blockchain, Both parties can verify the terms before they agree. It's fully transparent. Then there's speed and efficiency. Think about how long it takes to buy a house. There's paperwork, escrow accounts, title checks, bank approvals. It can take weeks or even months. A smart contract could automate many of these steps. Once the inspection is approved and the funding is verified, the contract could automatically transfer the property deed to the buyer and the funds to the seller, all within minutes. This cuts out huge amounts of administrative work and waiting time. Security is another big win. Since the smart contract lives on a decentralized blockchain, it's protected by advanced cryptography. It's incredibly difficult to hack or manipulate. The records are permanent and can't be altered, which eliminates the risk of fraud or disputes over what was originally agreed upon. Finally, there's the cost savings. By removing the need for many intermediaries, lawyers, brokers, agents, notaries, smart contracts can significantly reduce the fees associated with making and enforcing agreements. This makes transactions more affordable and accessible for everyone. Of course, the potential applications go far beyond simple payments. Let's think bigger. In supply chain management, smart contracts can be used to track goods from the factory to the store shelf. A contract could automatically trigger payments to suppliers as goods move through each stage of the journey, verified by IoT sensors. This increases transparency and ensures everyone gets paid on time. In the world of insurance, a flight delay insurance policy could be a smart contract. If your flight is delayed by more than 2 hours, in fact, the contract can automatically verify from a public flight data. FIDIT could instantly pay out your claim. No forms, no phone calls, no waiting for a check in the mail. Even voting systems could be transformed. A smart contract-based voting system could ensure that each person gets one vote, that all votes are counted accurately, and that the results are completely transparent and immune to tampering. In the creative industries, artists could use smart contracts to automatically receive royalties every time their song is played or their digital art is sold. The possibilities are truly mind-boggling and stretch across almost every industry you can think of. Now, it's not all sunshine and roses. Smart contracts are still a relatively new technology, and there are some significant challenges to overcome. The biggest one is that code is law, but what if the code is flawed? A bug or a loophole in a smart contract's code can be exploited by hackers. And because transactions on the blockchain are irreversible, stolen funds can be nearly impossible to recover. We've seen this happen in the crypto world with major hacks that exploited coding errors, leading to millions of dollars in losses. This means that writing secure, bug-free smart contracts is incredibly important, and it requires highly skilled developers and rigorous auditing processes. Another issue is the connection to the real world. A smart contract on the blockchain can't, by itself, know what the weather is or if a package has been delivered. It needs a reliable way to get external information. This is where oracles come in. Oracles are services that act as a bridge between the blockchain and the outside world, feeding real-world data to smart contracts. But this introduces a new point of trust. If the oracle is corrupt or gets hacked, it could feed the wrong information to the contract, causing it to execute incorrectly. Ensuring these oracles are secure and trustworthy is a major area of ongoing research. Finally, there's the legal question. Are smart contracts legally binding? The answer is, it's complicated. Laws vary from country to country, and the legal world is still catching up to this technology. While they can perfectly execute the terms written in code, their standing in a court of law is still a gray area in many places. Governments and legal experts are working on this, but it will take time to build a clear legal framework. So, where does that leave us? Smart contracts are undeniably one of the most powerful and exciting features of blockchain technology. They represent a fundamental shift from relying on institutions to relying on technology, from paper-based promises to automated, self-enforcing digital agreements. While there are still hurdles to clear, especially around security and legal recognition, the potential is too great to ignore. They have the power to make our interactions more efficient, transparent, and secure, cutting out middlemen and reducing costs across the board. We're still in the early days, kind of like the internet. In the meantime, it was a bit clunky. Not everyone understood it, but you could see the incredible potential it held. That's where we are with smart contracts today. They are the building blocks for a new generation of decentralized applications and a more automated, trustworthy digital future. The journey is just beginning, and it's going to be fascinating to watch how these intelligent contracts reshape our world. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this deep dive into smart contracts interesting, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content about the technologies shaping our future. Let me know in the comments what you think the most exciting use for smart contracts will be. See you in the next video.